said you'll be transitioning them over and training them as well. Is that part of it?
So that is we're calling it transition training. So they're trained on Airbus, but we want to also train them on Boeing, and then also have them completely redressed to be Alaska branded. So
they have new identities essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, we're gonna have to entice them a little bit.
Maybe you guys
Cool. Okay. So tell us about your favorite Alaska Airlines experience.
One of my favorite, probably most memorable experience also was when I was flying internationally, and I had to stop in SFO, and somehow I left my passport in security. And so I come to the gate and she's like, I need your boarding pass and passport. And I was like, oh dear God. And so I'm looking through everything, and of course it's not there. She's like, you might want to go back and check security, but we have to take off, so I'll just put you on the next flight if that's okay. And I was like, but then again, it's my fault. So I said, yeah, you guys go ahead. I'll figure it out. It probably is in security. So I go back to security. I grab the passport. I'm walking back. I stop by for coffee. And I'm slowly just kind of walking back to the gate. And I see the flight attendant. She's like, and I was like, what's the matter? And she's like, I told them I'll put you on the next flight, but they said, no, we'll just wait for her. And I said, no, you guys are going to hold the plane and wait for me, even though I made a mistake and I left my passport. And I'm casually, like slowly walking back to the gate with stops. And to me, that just really mattered in a way that it's almost like no customer left behind in our saying, so to speak. And so for me, it was very memorable, and it made me realize how much Alaska cares about their customers, and they want them to have a pleasant experience, even though it may mean that they have to do a sacrifice on someone else's behalf. In this case, it was the entire plane waiting for me. So for me, I really enjoyed that experience.
That's a great story. Okay, so then what does Alaska mean to you?
Alaska to me is almost like my airline. I reference it as mine because when people ask me, you fly a lot for work, what do you like about it? What do you hate about it? And I say, to be honest, it's just a positive and enjoyable form of transportation when I look at it that way, because I always have a pleasant flight. I always come out refreshed. I'm not stressed. I'm not tired. It's reliable. It makes my life easier for work, but at the same time, it also makes me feel good about it. I've, had similar experiences, I think, to any other traveler, missed flights, delayed, and so forth, but Alaska goes the extra mile, and they compensate you, or they give you some vouchers, or they say, you know what, go to our lounge since we'll be out for a little while, and let's just check your bags and you'll be on your way. We're going to upgrade you. Just little touches like that, but they make a significant difference for someone like me that travels every week, so to speak.
Awesome. So what is it that we do differently that other airlines don't do?
I looked at that question and I was like, what would I say, honestly? Because I fly Alaska so much that I have minimal experiences with other airlines. But just recently, and I flew back from France, I was on American Airlines, which is one of our partner airlines. And to be honest, it was great. And I think it's just different when you expect Alaska and then you get a different airline. It's still enjoyable, but it's not the same because you're like, that's my home airline, so to speak. And I've been flying Alaska since like 18. And so for me, I just have so many great memories, and seeing the transition of Alaska made a huge difference for me too. Before it was just you sit down, there's some music, they offer you some water and some snacks and peanuts and whatnot, and that's it. Versus now, you see the differences in the first class menu, premium seating, the lighting, the uniforms, and just seeing that transition in a very positive aspect and direction. It makes me wonder how much further and how much better, so to speak, Alaska will be in comparison to other airlines.
Awesome. Oh, shoot, I just lost my email. Sorry, one sec. Okay, so then how important are flight attendants to your experience with Alaska?
To be honest, I think it makes the world of a difference. If someone is not in a good mood, or they woke up on the wrong side of the bed and they show up to work with that attitude, that energy, it just goes out to the entire plane. If I'm sitting down and I'm in a good mood, but let's say the flight attendant maybe had a rough day or a rough flight, you could see right through that. You just really can. And I think if I had to count in the number of years I've been flying Alaska, when I had maybe or seen a flight attendant that wasn't on their most prime behavior, so to speak, it would be very minimal. I could probably count my fingers. It makes the world of a difference when they are happy to be at work, and it makes my experience that much happier as well.
Perfect. All right, last question. What can Alaska Airlines do to become the best West Coast airline?
I think you guys are already doing it, to be honest. Just continue to be ahead of the curve and not make changes based off of responses that come in as complaints. So if you're noticing that, people must, look at their food and they complain about the food, instead of making those changes then, do it way beforehand. And I think Alaska's been doing an excellent job of that. But for me, in the end of the day, it comes down to reliability and service. If the airline is reliable and the service is great, I'm going to be a customer for life.
Perfect. Those are great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much.